Right.
I want to talk legacy with you for a few minutes. I don't know what that decision was like for you, how tough it was testing the waters in the NFL, coming back. I'm sure you got calls and you had people saying, hey, you're a running back. Running back's the most injury-prone position. Go pro now while you're younger. Go pro now. But you decide to come back for your senior year. And the question I just have is, why come back? What's left for Devin Neal this last year?
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, like it was one of the harder decisions I've had to make. But at the same time, it's one that's easy too, because you kind of have two dreams in one hand. And just to think full circle that I'll be in this position, legacy wise at KU, and to be even in the position to say that I was able to go to the NFL and probably would be in the NFL. It just feels great, man. And the reason why I come back is just the people around me and the fan base, everything that I've stood for, everything that I've talked about in the past is why I've decided to come back. And because I wasn't done. We didn't do what I wanted to do yet. I set out to win a Big 12 championship, to win a national championship, and we haven't done that. I mean, we've been damn close, but we haven't done it.
Yeah.
So to be able to come back and obviously go towards that, but also go towards my individual achievements, it means a lot. And to be at the forefront of that one day, and I mean, words can't really describe how I feel about that, but at the end of the day, I know that so many people helped get me into this position, and I just don't want to let them down. And I think coming back kind of solidifies that. So,
and I know you're a very humble guy, very professional guy, but those record books, man, I'm sure they're catching your attention. It is not far away. You're sitting fourth all time in total yards behind three really, really good KU running backs.
Yeah.
But you need 765 yards to break the record, which I'm sure you're well aware of what that yardage mark is.
Yep.
To get guys like James Sims, Tony Sands, and June Henley, and that record's held up a long time.
Yeah.
You're also not that far off from the all-time touchdown record there. June Henley again, who just had a monster 1996 season and career, but he's sitting at 41 TDs, and you're third with 33. So I'm starting to look at the schedule here. Not only am I excited that you're hopefully going to hit those records this year, healthy and getting going, but is there a game you might be circling on the schedule that might be the record-breaking game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what week it was, but I think it was the Houston week. I think that's either 6 or 7.
Week 8, week 7, week 8. Yeah. That's the one I was looking at. I know it's going to be frustrating that you're not going to be doing it in the booth in front of the local fans there. But that was the one I circled. I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun, too, if he goes and breaks one of those on the road at K-State in KU victory, which would also be
No, I want to be at home, man. I really do. I want to be at home for that one.
So what would getting those records mean to you? Not just as a 4-year Kansas football player, but as a Lawrence kid growing up, seeing Kansas all around you your entire life. What would it mean for you to know that the guy living in Lawrence growing up will have his name etched in the record books for until someone potentially comes to break it? What would that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just means the world, man. I mean, just understanding that at one point when I did commit, I didn't know what to expect, man. And that's kind of the leap of faith that I took. And just understanding that all the hard work, everything that's led up to this point, that sometimes, obviously, we got the results on the field with the wins, but sometimes the work that you've put in for years and years goes unnoticed. Finally, you get those results, and it's in a big way too. So, I've always just focused on in my life, just keeping my head down, man, and just going to work each and every day, because you never know when the day is going to be your last, man. And so just understanding that, and, to be in this position to do it at this great university with these great running backs. And I mean, it's just, like I said, words can't really describe how I'm going to feel that day when it happens. But, what I do know is I'll be with two of my families. I'll be with, my brothers on the team and the coaches, and I know I'll be with my family as well too. And, it's going to be a really great moment for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a few more here I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to kick it over to JB for some rapid fire stuff to end up. But part of coming back is with the idea of getting better. So what aspect of your game do you feel like you need to develop or improve upon the most this last year in college before you take your talents to the next level?
I just think, from a lot of the feedback I heard is the two main things were, continue to get better at pass pro, and then also being able to show the ability to split out more and run routes and be dynamic in that aspect. Because the standard in the NFL is Christian McCaffrey and those type running backs. So, if I can show that ability to do that, you get the opportunity to, get paid earlier and, obviously strive to make that second to third contract. That's the biggest thing, especially in my position. So.
Absolutely. And then one thing I wanted to ask you, obviously growing up, there weren't a lot of great KU football teams to look up to as far as success on the field, but were there any players growing up for you football wise that you really looked up to on the team, or any guys you tried to model your game after?
More that I looked up to, I was a huge James Sims guy. Huge. That dude, and he was in the thick of the roughness too.
Yeah.
But he was like the shining star too. So, I think I still have his posters in my parents' garage, honestly. So yeah,
I love that.
definitely him.
How about anybody professionally? Are there any NFL running backs that you are taking bits and pieces of their game to add into your play style?
I really like ETN. He's one of my favorite backs. I love watching him, and obviously he's way faster than me. He ran like a 4.3, low 4.3. I just think there's parts of his game that remind me of mine. And I try to not necessarily. It's hard to model your game after another back because everyone has something that makes them different. But you see bits and pieces of them that why they're successful in the NFL, and those are the type of things that you try to emulate in your game as well. So I would probably say him for sure.
When I watch the tape, I see a lot of prime Le'Veon Bell with some of the cuts that you make, the ability to be patient behind the line. I can think of probably at least half a dozen plays this last year where there's no hole. It looks like you're going to get swallowed up for a 3-4 yard loss. And the next thing you know, you're 8-10 yards down the field. Where did you learn that ability to be patient and wait for those openings? Or where did you figure out that, if you just time it right, that you can turn nothing into something?
Yeah. I just think it's more of the latter of what you said is just kind of understanding, sometimes when stuff's not clear that most likely a defense is still trying to look for you. That's kind of the thing that I kind of picked up on, that sometimes they really can't just see you. And so like you kind of just, it's almost like blending in almost. And the more you're patient and eventually something's going to open up. And so that's kind of how I go about it and think about it. But it also comes with a ton of reps of doing it too.
Sure.
It's been something that I've kind of done my entire life, like freshman year of high school, even before then. So it's just kind of my style, man. And it's kind of something that I've just leaned into, and it's been successful in college. And I just keep trying to find ways to get better at that too.
Yeah. And then last question I got for you. A little ways down the road here, when you and the fan base is reflecting back on your time at Kansas, what do you want to be remembered by?
Yeah, I just want to be remembered as, obviously being a part of the forefront of the team that changed it, man. And obviously that. And I also want to just be known for what I've done out in the community and what I've done for the program. I take pride in, giving back and taking care of the community that's taking care of me. Not a lot of people can obviously take care of their communities back home for their college team too. So I take a lot of pride in that, and just being able to be a stand-up guy and have anyone who can come up to me and have a positive experience. That's kind of what I want to be known for, is more about what I do off the field than I do on. So
That's awesome, man.